What's going on, my truckers? Hopefully you guys are having a great day today, having a smooth drive today. If not, if you're parked, you're safe, and you're just listening or you're watching this video today, just want to give you this update here that we finally got the update that came back from the toxicology report for Jashanpreet Singh. We know about this accident that happened in Ontario, California. If you missed the beat on that, I'll give you a little bit of that in a second, but just want to give this update here. None of the substances tested were present in the defendant's blood at the time of the test was rendered. So, meaning that Jashanpreet Singh, at the time of this 8-vehicle chain reaction crash that killed 3 people, he didn't have any substances in his body. I know they were trying to get him for being guilty of a DUI, but I don't know now if this makes his situation better or worse. But that just came out, just to make it clear. Singh is still facing 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence and 1 count of reckless driving on a highway. So, mud truckers, just want to give you that update here today. Just to make it clear again, Singh did come to the country illegally at the time of the crash, according to the Department of Homeland Security. However, the state that issued his CDO, California, states that the federal government approved his employment authorization documents, allowing him to obtain a real ID, which confirmed his legal status prior to obtaining a CDL. The real ID extended his legal employment until August 2030. So California's putting blame on the federal government. Federal government is putting blame on California, and we know how that fight is going right now, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But just want to make that clear. I don't want to start the narrative that every immigrant that's coming here has some substance in them while they're driving. We just want to give you the facts when they come out. So there was no substance in his body. Did interview a driver the other day, and with that said, I feel like I need to put this part of the interview in the beginning of it. Basically, I interviewed a driver named George who has a non-domicile CDL, and he's a DACA recipient. Came here when he was 2 years old, been in the country for over 30 years now. Basically, he speaks English perfectly when you hear this interview. And second to that, he states that the reason why he never had an opportunity to get his citizenship is because the DACA recipient guidelines don't allow him to. He would actually have to marry somebody that already had their papers, per se. So, I put that in his interview at the very end, and I want to put it in the beginning now because people have said a lot of comments about this. I want to read some of these to you, and so that you have the information on this. But basically, drivers, for the most consensus, said, sorry, bud, you don't have a citizenship, you don't have your papers, you shouldn't be driving a truck. I know people can be harsh at times, but I want to read some of this. One person says, get your citizenship. You have been here long enough and should have it by now. You are technically illegal unless you have a valid visa or green card. Another driver actually is on the side of George, says, I agree with you 100%, George. Citizenship is a uphill battle. Here we have a safe, intelligent, conscientious driver who wasn't born here, but was brought here as a small child. This is the only home he's ever known. He has followed this country's rules and is not a burden to the system. We are a country of immigrants, and here is someone who is trying to do the right thing, and people are knocking him because of his race. It's wrong. He truly makes some very good points. So, basically, both of those comments right there have been the consensus of what this video was. And I put the part where he says why he doesn't have his citizenship after so many years at the end. And I don't think a lot of people saw that part. So I want to put that at the beginning now.
DACA recipients have always been through hurdles. We've always been through hurdles where we're living on a subscription. When I say that is it can be canceled at any minute and we have to keep paying it to renew it. And we'll keep doing that. I'm not complaining about it, to be clear. But to include us in something like that just doesn't seem fair, and that's the reason I decided to sue. Because it's not only about truckers, it's about bus drivers, it's about people that are driving mixed trucks. And I was brought here when I was a kid, and to answer the question that I see people ask a lot, if you've been here for so long, why didn't you just become a citizen? Just using common sense. If I'm saying that I'm doing this every 2 years, well, don't you think don't you think that if there was a chance for me to do it once and not do it again, I wouldn't do it? For DACA people, there is no pathway to citizenship. The only pathway is there's three options. First option is you marry a U.S. citizen. I got married to my wife. We've been together for 20 years, and we're high school sweethearts. I started dating her when she was 15. I was 16. At that time, do you think people are gonna ask, "Hey, what's up? You got papers?" No, right? Like, I didn't know it was gonna last that long. So I'm here now. I'm not gonna bitch about it, right? All right. The other option is you have to go through a work your job to sponsor you, but in order for your job to sponsor you, they have to prove, it's a whole process, they have to prove that they cannot find somebody in the US that they have to hire you. That's a whole system. And it's the third option that I have is basically when my daughter turns 21. When my daughter turns 21, I will pretty much, she will petition me, and then we'll become not even citizens, we'll become a resident. We'll become a resident, and then after 5 or 6 years, you take a test. You take a test to become a citizen of this country. This country has given so much to me, and I'm grateful for the country. And I'm dude. I put it this way: I watch videos of people reacting to when they receive their residency card. The feeling that I get watching that, that's going to be me one day, you know. But the fact that we're being told that we're a danger to that's the main thing, right? The danger concerns, it's just that's not fair because we speak perfect English and we go through the background checks. We didn't pay for our driver's license. We went to trucking school. We've done the right thing, and now we're being caught in this crossfire, and that's the reason I wanted to come out here and spread the word. And also to have DACA, you have to at least go to school or graduate from high school or have a GED or go to college. So it's not like they just gave us DACA. We had to qualify. You have to have a clean record. You have to have your fingerprints taken every 2 years, and then you have to stay out of trouble. If you drink and drive, you go to jail for one night, and that's it. It's on your record. If I drink and drive, I go to jail for one night. They might call immigration. If they don't call immigration, when I renew again, whenever I renew and I do my fingerprints, that DUI would come out and I would get denied. But pretty much, I just want to get out here and say we are not a threat. We want to be an American. We've been doing it the right way. We want to give me the opportunity to apply. Now apply. I have 3.5 years more to go, and we'll make it happen. But in the meantime, they're taking our CDLs, and I don't know what else we have to do to prove that we're not a threat. Send me a test and I'll take it.